This is part 5 of my bird story series. I will leave links for the other 4 videos in the description as well as at the end of the video. There was a little bit of frost this morning, nothing serious though, but just enough to remind me of what's ahead. Many of my white-throated sparrows, the ones that come to me for food, are still around. Seems like they are hanging around a little later than usual this year. I wonder if that means we will have a rough winter. I'm hoping for a mild one though, that would be nice. My silly and adorable sweet girl was her typical whiny self today. Some seeds settled her down. Wasn't long before Peanut showed up to collect some too. He likes sunflower seeds, but only if they are already out of the shell. Abby was here, which is what had Sweet Girl upset. I went over to visit Hatch and Maggie, and they were quite chatty today. Those little sounds are too adorable. The chattering call Hatch is making is a call he uses when he's annoyed with the jays. It's like an alarm call. He also uses it when a bird of prey is around. A couple of boreal chickadees managed to grab a seed. They are quite timid. The nuthatches and blackcaps dominate them, so it's not easy making sure the boreals get some too. I try my best. Later I found the rest of the jays. They were quite upset. I put some food on a nearby concrete block and Feisty Jay shared it with his mate Belle. On the way home, I saw some juncos on the dirt path eating some seeds. I find fall a great time of year to see these lovely sparrows. The jays were hungry this morning. I put some seeds down on a rock and let them go to town. Snowy and Webster collected as much as they could while 3 juvenile jays waited their turn. I'm almost certain one of them is Blue and Sweet Girl's. Looks very much like Sweet Girl. I spotted a curious, what I believe is an immature swamp sparrow watching the jays. Sweet Girl tried collecting some seeds when a gray jay came by interested in what she was doing. It wasn't Peanut. There are 2 other gray jays hanging around here. It eventually got the nerve up to get on my hand. So cool. Abby, Hermoso's mate, came by too. It's gotten so colorful lately. I spent some time taking pictures and recording videos. Hatch and Maggie enjoyed some seeds I put on the stump, and even a lovely junco came by. I don't think I ever saw one with brown in it. They are usually all slate-colored juncos here. Sweet Girl, Snowy, and later Blue enjoyed some too. After 2 hours of being here, I still hadn't seen Peanut and was starting to wonder about him. So I went looking, but I didn't have to go far before I found him. Little bugger has stole my heart. On my way home it started to rain and I couldn't help but notice how colorful some of the leaves are. My crazy jays had followed me, and a couple I hadn't seen yet, like Squawky and Hermoso, arrived too. Tiny came by for a snack as well. I hold that little D so close to my heart. I've known her since she was a baby in 2013, and she is the offspring of my first chickadee pair, Alpha and Marxine. The morning started out with Peanut, Webster, Abby, and a juvenile jay. At one point, I took my phone out to read a text I just got. Peanut was quite curious about that, even nibbled my finger very gently. Silly bugger. Angel, Tiny, Tim, Mini Tim, and Kiwi and Lentil showed up just as I was starting to wonder where they were. Angel stands out very well because of her bad foot. The little talons curl underneath. She is also the only one in the flock to take 2 seeds at once. Lentil made quick work of one of the seeds. The birds are pretty hungry first thing in the morning. Cute Peanut came by just after obviously having a bath, as if to say, "Look, I'm all cleaned up." I saw that junco again today. There is a lot of brown in its plumage. I'm not familiar with the different variations, but I know I have not seen one like this before. I wonder if it could be the Oregon variation. Interestingly, I saw it eating leaves. That's a first for me. Finally, Blue, Sweet Girl, Snowy, and Webster showed up. A dry and clean Peanut popped by again, too. Poor Blue waited in the background. I don't think Blue likes Peanut too much. I try so hard to be as fair as I can with each of them. I don't want any of them feeling left out, especially not my Blue. On my way home, I saw my sweet Hermoso, and he gave me such a pretty picture. Love that little guy. I saw a junco with a lot of brown in its plumage again today, but I don't think it's the same one I've been seeing because I saw it much further away from that area. It was enjoying the seeds of a rotting goldenrod. Snowy and Webster were the first of my jays to show up. Abby came by soon after. She's been taking food from my hand lately. Pretty quick about it, but she will learn to trust me over time. Eventually Blue came by, as did the little ones, Angel, Mini Tim, Tim, Tiny, and Kiwi and Lentil. I get so much pleasure watching these little ones collect their seeds. Such innocent birds. It is quite colorful around here, but the leaves are falling now. Soon it'll be just the tamaracks providing such vibrancy to this land. Peanut did the most coolest thing today. He perched on my arm and preened himself for a few minutes. Amazing, and a little heartwarming too. I think I have a little buddy for sure. I had one more sweet thing happen on my way home. I was hand-feeding Tiny, Tim, and the gang when Lentil hitched up my arm with a seed and hid it in my jacket. I couldn't believe it, so unexpected. I've been hand-feeding her since February and she never ever even attempted to do this, and yet at that moment, for whatever reason, she started. The thing I find most incredible about this is that I used to know a chickadee that did this before. Alpha, Tiny's father. The only birds that ever did this besides him was his offspring that learned from watching him, usually his sons. How cool. It snowed overnight. Seemed fitting that the first bird I saw today was a happy junco, aka snowbird, hopping along the dirt path. Further up I saw some of my jays. I gave them peanuts. Snowy and Webster dived in, then Hermoso, and then Blue tried getting some, but that upset Webster. He attacked Blue. I hate it when they fight like that. Ugh, those jays. Everything was okay after. As I walked into the trail, I noticed that a lot of the leaves had fallen. The tamaracks looked so pretty with snow on them. Such a lovely scene. When trying to record video of it, Sweet Girl photobombed it. Such a cute one though, and her mate Blue flew in shortly after. They were rewarded with peanuts, of course. It was warming up now, and as the snow melted, it fell like rain. Ernie and them came by. One of their members always keep watch while they eat. Finally, I spotted Peanut nearby too. He was preening, something that makes up a big part of a bird's daily activity. I also saw a warbler. I haven't seen any for a couple weeks now. Must be one migrating through. No snow today. In fact, it rained quite a bit last night. I even saw an earthworm. My jays were quite eager and emotional, Snowy and Webster and Blue and Sweet Girl. I loved that Blue gave Sweet Girl a food offering, but his mood quickly changed when I tossed some peanuts onto the ground. He even went after Sweet Girl. It's because survival mode has set in now that fall is in full swing. They aren't the only ones aggressive and moody. Angel, Minnie Tim, Kiwi and Lentil, Tawny and Tim are too. Hermoso arrived later. He looked great in the autumn setting. It seems like I don't see him and Abby together much lately. I did see her after though. She was with Feisty J. Wasn't long before Hermoso came by to offer her some food though, in an effort to maintain their bond. Blue tried holding dominance here at one point until Feisty J reminded him whose territory this belonged to. A terrible thing happened, something I was not prepared for. I heard one of my chickadees screeching. I tried getting to them to see what happened and hopefully stop it in time, but I couldn't get past all the trees. I don't know for sure what happened, but I do know that Tiny was never seen again after that moment. I love that chickadee so much. Maybe I'm a little too involved with these birds, but the hurt was so wrenching. I couldn't hold back from crying. I investigated as best I could. I did not see any hawks. Besides, if a hawk were around, it wouldn't have gotten past the jays. They would have went nuts. I did see a gray jay though. I think it was Peanut, but I'm not sure. And I have no actual proof if this gray jay did anything or not. I kept trying to see if I could find her, but she never came. Tim, her mate, started calling and calling, trying to locate her. He was going on and on. My heart couldn't take it. There was no way for me to tell him that his best friend, his mate for the last 4 years, is gone. The weirdest thing happened, too. When I turned around to go home, there was a bull moose out in the open foraging. I have never had a moose just come out into the open with me being there like that. Usually I see a moose by coming up on them. I couldn't help but see it as some sort of sign or something. I know that's probably a weird thing to think, but that's how I felt at that moment. My last video of Tawny was from only an hour earlier. So deeply heartbroken, and I'm really gonna miss her. She's the first bird I've known since it was a baby. I went out the next day, and the only ones I saw was Minnie Tim and Angel, no Tim. I think he left the territory, probably looking for Tawny, or maybe another female. It goes to show just how quickly things can change. I can't believe my favorite chickadee pair is gone, just like that. If only I could have done something. I'm having a hard time accepting what happened, but it's something I need to do. I feel like this terrible experience is a reminder for me to enjoy every moment to the fullest when I'm with these birds. Because I have to be honest, with life being so hectic lately for me, I'm not really in the moment when I'm out there. My mind is always somewhere else. It's like I just go through the motions and try to get back home quickly. I'm not really enjoying my time out there. It's time for that to stop. I'm just regretful that Tawny and Tim being taken from me is what finally made me realize that. I really wish, and I've been trying to find a way to end on a happy note, but sometimes sad things happen in life and that's okay. It wouldn't be fair for me to sugarcoat it. This is another side of the bird's reality out there.